She is. This is swollen.
All right, so guys, we're gonna work through some examples here on finding the measurement of the segment. So again, when it says find the measure of the segment, it doesn't mean take out your ruler and measure it. Because there it says 4 centimeters. This is not 4 centimeters. Maybe on your paper it's closer. I don't even think it is. Like it's definitely not 4 centimeters on my board. So they say it's 4 centimeters. We have to assume they're not lying to us. Or that if they are, we just have to kind of go with what they say. Then they say this little part here, S to T is 1.6. It says find the measure of the segment. They want the measure of the segment RS. So they want to know this, which happens to be this distance here. And some of you guys are looking at that and like, really, that's all they're asking for? And then some of you are like, how are we ever going to figure that out? So just understanding that this is getting used to something that might be different for some of you, and then some of you it's very logical. It's just different ways minds work. So if the whole thing is 4.6, so picture a little ant, he's on a little journey. He wants to crawl 4.6 centimeters, but he's gone from T to S, so he's already gone, or sorry, he wants to go 4 centimeters. From T to S is 1.6. He wants to make, he's gotten that far. How much more does he have to go? How would you guys figure that out? Yeah. Yeah, so this little part plus that is going to equal 4. So some of you guys might just say, I'm going to take 4 and subtract 1.6. Some of you are like, how did you come up with that? Another way to think of it is that x plus 1.6 would equal 4. So I have to subtract 1.6. So either way you look at this, you're doing the same math there. So 4 minus 1.6 ends up being 2.4. And this is going to be centimeters. So that's the missing length that he hasn't yet gone. All right, this next one has those little tick marks that I was talking about earlier. Those little tick marks are to show that those are equal segments. So there's a little mark here. All of those are, that means those are all the same. So this, if this is x, this is also x, this is x, they're all x, they're all the same. So I can call them all the same variable. And we're looking for FG, which is just one of those little pieces. How many of those are there? How many little x's are there? 4. So how can I write that algebraically? 4x. So there's 4 little x's. So you can either say I'm going to add them all together, or I can just call it 4x. And what does the whole thing equal? 16.8. So to find out x, what am I going to do? Divide by 4. So x ends up being 4.2, and again, it's centimeters. Does that seem logical? Is that okay? Yeah. And again, I know not everyone feels like this is like coming super easy, and that's okay to like you know, slow me down, stop me now or later or whatever happens to be, let me know. So these are the types of problems, these next ones, they're talking about the word between. So they're telling us some situations here. And sorry, I didn't leave you a ton of room on these, so if you write really big, I apologize ahead of time because you might not have enough space here. So it says that they give us this information. So right now, this looks all like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Like, what are they saying here? But they're telling us find the value of the variable and the length of yz if y is between x and z. So if it says that y is between x and z, what are they telling us about what this looks like? What should I draw? What do I know about this situation if it's between? I want to draw a picture that explains this. What am I going to draw? Am I drawing a circle? What am I drawing? Yep. a line. How many dots should be on the line? I have 2 right now. How many dots should be on the line? 3. What should I call these dots? What order do I have to call them? Where do they have to go? One of them has to go in a particular spot. Y has to be what? In the middle. And it doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but it just has to be like between the other 2. So then these are X and Z. Now that I know that, they have some other information here for me. They tell me X, Y is 7A. So I'm going to write 7A right here. They tell me Y, Z is 5A. So I'm going to write that right here. Is that making sense that I can just label those that way? But then they say that XZ is 6A plus 24. XZ is this whole thing. And again, this is why you're probably not going to have a ton of space, so I apologize. You might have to use the margin or something like that. They want us to find the value of the variable and also what YZ is. So any thoughts on how I can do this? Yeah, go ahead, Dawson.
Take the 7A plus A and then do the 6A plus 24. They're equal to?
Yeah, so we know that these 2 together should equal that, right? Those 2 parts together should equal this one. So what we can say is put these 2 together and it should equal that. So 7A and 5A together should equal 6A plus 24. So these 2 together add up to that whole. And 7A and 5A, some of you guys are like, why didn't you just write that as 12A? I'm probably going to over-show my steps just because someone looks away and they're like, what just happened there? Or they're watching on video. So 12A equals 6A plus 24. Now this becomes like a problem where you're just solving outside. What do I want to move? Some of you guys already know the answer is, but what do you want to move if you want to solve it showing your steps? 6A, so let's move that 6A over. So this becomes 6A equals 24. 12 minus 6 is 6. And then I can find out that A just has to be 4. Now, A is 4. This is a great type of problem to actually go and check this. And they kind of ask this. They ask for WZ or YZ as well. If I put this in, 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 5 is 20. So the whole thing should be 48. If I check that, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 24 is 48. So we're able to check our answers and they make sense. They're not just like mumbo jumbo that, like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It's really easy to check them and make sure everything balances out. Questions there? So this is like kind of showing how the algebra and geometry really come together. So being comfortable with this and kind of figuring this out. Or we'll do this one more here together. This guy just has space. So same drawing, but new variables and new information for us. XY is 11D. And if they tell me YZ is 9D minus 2. That's 5D plus 28. So see if you guys can try this one. Really similar to the last one. See if you guys can get it set up. I think it works out to be a nice number, so I don't know if anyone got that far already. Get that set up, so, yep, that was good. Oh, how many things we lost? Oh, we should have a -2 by that. See that? So then, there's a -2 by the 20th. How are we doing, you guys? I think the worst thing about a mask is when you feel a sneeze coming on. Like, I like want to be ready for it. I need to pull off. Yeah, I think that's what I. How are we doing, you guys? Stop getting some assistance here. Keep writing smaller and smaller. I'm sorry. I'm usually better about space, so I apologize. It's 90 minus 2. It's like a -2 here. And again, this side is the negative other people miss that too, but not me. Yeah, they were. How are we doing, you guys? It's 15. You're dividing it into 30. It's nicer than that. How are we doing? I think she gets 20. Oh, I'm like, so weird. Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Alright, how we doing? Okay. Now this, oh, you got it. Yeah, good work. You got it. Good. You guys all good over here? Oh, not her. Don't take a caller out. Everybody but. All right, I'm going to work up here in case I just need to get the video. So I'm adding these two together. So these two go together to become 20D. Just be careful. A lot of you guys, the little mistakes you're making, that's why I like you guys to show your work, because a lot of you like lost this 2 somewhere in here, or just like changed some numbers around, they became something else different, weird, that you weren't expecting. And so it's easy for me to help you find your mistakes if you show your work. We're moving things around here. I think most of you guys were there, so I'm just kind of whipping through this for the sake of those not here. So D ends up being 2. All right. Questions there at all? So for your homework, I think your homework is listed a little bit differently than I have up here. No, it's not. So I want to alter it a little bit. You do not need to do, I think there's 2 that you were supposed to actually measure with like a ruler. And I don't know if you'll have a ruler with you where you are. So you can skip 13 and 15. But the rest of this is due. So the pages, again, are listed on Schoology. Otherwise, you guys have a textbook, or you can use one that's in here right now. It's 3 through 29 odds. If you guys haven't gathered yet, the reason I do odds is to get a good variety of questions with getting through a lot, but also those are the ones in the back of the book. And I want you to be able to check your work if you need it. So 3 through 29 odds, we can skip 13 and 15. Yeah. What's that? I thought it was 13 and 15 you have to measure. Oh, maybe it should be that you're, sorry. Let me look. I might be changing that, so hang on. Wait a second. Hold up. Oh yeah, it's 3 and 5. Oh, you can skip those two. So what are we doing here?
I just don't remember.
So we're doing 7 through 11 odds, and then 17 through 25 odds. Now, if that's a better way to write it. 7 through 11 odds, and 17 through 25 odds. Thank you, Ms. Miller. So we're skipping 3 and 5 as well. And 13 and 15.
And that's what we skipped them yesterday.
Aren't you guys like, do you want me to keep skipping things? Yeah.
We just skipped the whole time class.
1, 2, C, 13 and 15.